ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original eSport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, welcome back, race fans here to Turn 3 Racing Network. Thanks for joining us here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway for the big one on the Boulevard 250. That's right, 94 laps around this 2.5 mile superspeedway for the Superior Class Auto Racing, brought to you by Mug Root Beer. Man, I tell you what, it's a great day to be up here in the booth. Thanks for joining myself, Darkside Dave, in the cave here in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth. Do appreciate each and every time you stick around, stop by, say hi. You know, just do what you do. A little bit of track information out there for you. Track temperature upwards of 123 degrees. That is, wow. Absolutely unbelievable. Going to be very slick out there. 7-mile-an-hour wind. So watch for these drivers to be a little bit faster down the backstretch as they get that tailwind. Going to help them out getting into turn 3, but that could end up being just a little bit treacherous. So yeah, I'm not so sure what the speeds are going to look like right now. Looking about right around that 200-mile-an-hour range going into the corner. So these drivers right on par for where they normally run, how they normally run, things of that nature. Do want to keep you in mind, keep you up to speed with what's going on here in the Superior Class Auto Racing, presented to you by Mug Root Beer. Round number 12 in 2 weeks at Texas. Then we head to Martinsville. Round 14 going to be, I don't know why that says K&N California. That is crazy. We'll be at California, but we'll be in the Cup car. Very interesting thing there. Huh, yeah. No, these drivers not switching cars just for one race. Just a user error as usual. Well, anyways, with all that being said, let's see who we've got out there on track right now. We've got about 5 minutes or so remaining here in happy hour before we get things set to go into qualifying. So we'll see if we don't see a few drivers out there on track. Looks like there you see a duo right there out there on track right now, getting in some final few laps, pushing the envelope just a little bit more. The 40 of Jeff Napier and the 74 of Mike Ielo Jr. making a little bit of drafting runs, some qualifying runs. Well, not qualifying, they're going to qualify by themselves, but some drafting practice, that's the word. That's what I'm trying to get to. And as we do have a little bit of time on our hands, let's see if we can't go to our points standings coming in to tonight's race here at, oh my goodness, and that is not correct either. Look at that. Okay, we're going to work through this for you here. Kasim Plott is actually your points leader with 342 points, sitting just ahead of Brian Littleton. Brian Littleton right there in second, not first. These numbers are going to get a little bit jumbled for just a moment. It looks like David Bradford excluded from the point standings here on our side of things for some oddball reason, but he's sitting in third, 19 points back of Kasim Plott with 323 points. Then looks like the system starts to get a little bit corrected after that goes back to Colt Ansley right there running in fourth. Fifth will be Mark Truxell. Sixth, Jeff Napier. Seventh, Alan Dufries. Will Jones going to be eighth. Mickey Spears still tied with Will Jones for that eighth position in your point standings. John Ballou going to slot and round out your top 10, sitting in the points with 246 points so far this season in just 8 races. So he's doing a heck of a job out there with the being about 2 races behind, still able to slot himself inside that top 10. So a heck of a job by him and his crew. Yeah, very interesting point standings. Looks like it just decided it wasn't going to put your points leader, Case and Plot, or the driver sitting second in points. I mean, the driver sitting in third in points. I apologize, David Bradford. I even got myself confused over here as we see a lot of drivers down on pit road. Check out those beautiful, beautiful paint schemes. Maybe one of the last times we see them with all the fenders and all the sheet metal straight, because things are known to happen very quick here at Talladega Superspeedway. 2.5 miles, upwards of 200 miles an hour the entire time. It can have you sitting on edge, if for lack of a better term. Wonder if we'll have a new winner this season as well. We're sitting with all of our race winners being multiple race winners at this point in time in the season. Case and Plot sitting with 4 wins. David Bradford, Will Jones, Chris Mathis, all tied with 2 wins apiece. So getting to victory lane is a rarity for the majority of the field. But could this be the race that throws a curveball? Maybe one of the drivers were maybe not accustomed to finishing up inside the top 3. Maybe he steals a stage. Maybe he steals a win. We'll just have to wait and see. Long time to go before we get that all figured out and worked out. 94 laps in tonight's the big one on the Boulevard 250 here at Talladega Superspeedway. Stage number 1 gonna come to an end on lap 30. Stage number 2 ends on lap 60. Then these drivers will fire it off for a little bit of a shorter run to the end in that final segment. But either way, going to have some great racing on tap for us. Getting ready to switch over to qualifying. So we're going to step away from the track for just a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back.
Hi, I'm Johnny with Little Tate's Cupcakes. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's race on the Turn 3 Network. Little Tate's Cupcakes is a bakery based out of Owensboro, Kentucky. We specialize in cookies, cakesicles, cakes, and cupcakes for every occasion. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram for more of our work and for daily specials. Go number 5.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Back trackside qualifying already underway. Nobody putting in their first time lap just yet, but we've got a lot of drivers out there on the track. The 74 of Mikey Yellow Jr. out there on track. Thomas McMullen actually being the first driver to turn in a timed lap as we are watching the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. come around the track running that high lane. I'm not quite sure if Bobby's got a new paint scheme or maybe trading paints just isn't working for us right now. Either way, we're going to have to just kind of make do. Still a pretty cool little deal here. That's a nice little flame job, little Jeff Gordon look. I don't know, maybe the Waffle House on the side of that thing possibly. I don't know, looks like a WH to me. A friend of Waffle House. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gonna throw up your qualifying order as they sit right now. 74 on top of the speed charts with a quick time of a 51.08. J.D. Baker sitting right there in second, his 77. Thomas McMillan in third. Colt Ansley now slotting in the fourth spot. A lot of other drivers still out there on track. Justin Mathis, Chris Mathis, Justin Napier, J.D. Baker, Mark Truxell, Case and Plot, all out there on track now. So, field not wasting any time, getting right to it here at Talladega Superspeedway. Try to see who's going to take that top spot away. Bobby Hamilton Jr. slots all the way to 6th with his first time lap. Doesn't look like we've got very many other drivers out there as we watch Jason Baker here in the 85 on his second time lap. Slotted in the 12th position right now, coming to the stripe this time by for his second time lap. We'll have to wait and see how he shakes out. As my goodness, this qualifying session has absolutely flew by. Only 1 minute remaining here in qualifying, and I'm not sure anybody's got anything for Mikey Aiello Jr. sitting at the top of the speed charts. I don't believe anybody's going to be able to get out there and put down a time lap to take that time away. Looks like Mark Truxell was trying, but now going to slot in 9th that time by. So nobody going to be able to take that top spot away from Aiello Jr. here in qualifying for the big one on the Boulevard 250 for Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. With that being said, we're going to throw it down trackside for our national anthem. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in now, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
That's right, flyover, done and over with. Man, that gets my juices flowing, gets me pumped up, ready to go racing, because that's usually when I see the flyovers right there at the racetrack. So that means it is race time. Field has hit the track. Let's run through your starting lineup for tonight's the big one on the Boulevard 250 here on the Turn 3 Racing Network for Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. Starting inside row number 1, pole position, the 74 of Mikey Yalo Jr. Just to his outside, Joshua Baker and his 77 machine lining up row number 2, the 18 of Chris Mathis, followed by the 71 of Alan Dufries. J.D. Baker going to slot in 5th. Coming in 6th will be the 02 of Thomas McMullen. Row number 4, the 86 of Colt Ansley, followed by the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Row number 5, the 85 of Jason Baker, and the 5 of Mark Truxell. Row number 6, the 3 of Tommy D'Angelo, and the 54 of Justin Napier. Row number 7, the 19 of Kaysen Plott, and the 13 of Roy Hyde. Row number 8, the 80 of Brian Littleton, and the 51. Row number 9, the 33 of Brian Mescal Jr. gonna start in the 17th spot, just to his outside. Multiple race winner this season, the 46 of David Bradford. Lining up row number 10 here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway, the 2 of Hayes Booth, and shotgun on the field, the 40 of Jeff Napier. Well, that does it. That's all there is. We're ready to go green flag racing this time by when the field gets to the restart box. This is going to be ooh-wee. Ford Mustang pace car gonna head off the track for the first time here tonight, and we'll get ready to go green flag racing here at Talladega Superspeedway. Very long night ahead of these drivers. One fast repair in their back pocket, so they can push the envelope just a little bit. But they're going to have to be around at the end, going to have to stay to play. Green flags in the air as the 74 of Yalo Jr. gets a great start over the 77 of Joshua Baker. Baker falling back to the outside now, looking to go to the rear of the field. He's going to go up 3 wide in the high lane. That's going to leave Dufries out there leading that outside lane all by himself, now side by side, getting past on the inside, getting almost freight trained, if you will, just a little bit by some of these drivers at the front. And looks like maybe Colt Ansley, I believe that is, that may have a little bit of rear damage. No, that's the 02 of Thomas McMullen with a little bit of rear end damage right there already. And it's very, very early here at Talladega Superspeedway. We do have 2 stage breaks here tonight. Stage 1 gonna come to an end at lap 30. Stage number 2 gonna stop us at lap 60. So I mean, it's not really go time just yet, so some of these drivers looks like they're just kind of hanging out, willing to go single file, and that is a hard lick. That is some heavy impact on the rear end of that 02 just in front of Alan Dufries. I mean, Thomas McMullen, let's see if we can't get a nose cam out there. There you see it right there. Thomas McMullen right in front of the 71 of Alan Dufries. He's got a heavy rear end damage. The Camaro emblem pushed in already. And we are only working lap number 2 now, coming to the line to take lap number 3 this time by. And you can hear the drivers already feathering the throttle, already having to jump out of the gas. And that is going to be a theme that we see all night long. These drivers are going to have to know when to take the run and know when to just kind of roll out of the throttle, maybe drag the brake just a little bit. As we see the 3 running the high lane, only about 2 or 3 drivers up there running that high line. Tommy D'Angelo, Bobby Hamilton Jr. also just behind him. There you see drivers a little bit further back, just kind of not sure if they want to go to that high lane just yet or if they want to stay safe and tucked in down next to that double yellow line. Oh, and it looks like we've got a driver to pit road. Kasem Plott to pit road this time. Not sure if that was a penalty or if that is by strategy. We'll have to wait and see. Not quite sure what the fuel run is for these drivers here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. So, yeah, that's, I guess we'll find out. That three-car train on the outside of Tommy D'Angelo, Bobby Hamilton Jr., and Justin Napier starting to get a little bit of company now. Look at Chris Mathis jump to the outside with a push from the 86. Oh, contact, and a 3 goes around in front of the field. Big crash early here at Talladega Superspeedway, lap number 5. Oh, my goodness. Let's see if we can't back that up, see if we can't see what happened here. Ooh, tough impact. We'll see if we've got another view of it here. Let's go back to a different side. Maybe a blimp cam here can help us out. It looks like just a looks like Tommy D'Angelo just kind of lost it there for a minute. There you see it again. Ooh, nowhere to go for multiple drivers back through the field. Tough break. That's a hard one to watch, but we'll go back up front with your race leader as he brings the field back to not necessarily a crawl, but winds them engines down, pulls the reins in. Going to catch up to the pace car here heading into turn number 3. Rest of the field going to rejoin Mathis, and we'll see if drivers don't hit pit road now, and we'll see if Kasem Plott is able to get himself back on the lead lap. Looks like he may be scored 1 lap down right now. Not 100% sure about that one. Tommy D'Angelo who having to call the hauler, having to call the wrecker, I should say, pulling the backup out of the hauler. He's going to be on pit road for a brief moment. So tough break for D'Angelo and that 3 crew. As early contact had him find the outside wall, he went spinning through the inside, and yeah, that's all she wrote of that primary car right there. Drivers electing to stay out. Looks like Mike Yellow Jr. staying out. The 0-2 of Thomas McMullen. Mark Truxell looks like he's staying out as well. Jeff Napier. Jason Baker also staying out this time by. And it looks like maybe Kasem Plott having some issues being scored 3 laps down, not seeing him on track anywhere either, so maybe Plott having some troubles, having some connection issues, maybe, not quite sure, but we'll work to find out what happened to your points leader. And I mean, he's got the most wins on the season as well, sitting with 4 wins on the season, 8 top 5s out of the 9 races that Kasem has started tonight. This year. So, so tonight, not really going the way that Plott's used to. The crew chief spotter, maybe a little bit of miscommunication. Maybe I don't know. It looks like it may be a mechanical failure that has brought Kasem to pit lane. Still down there on the track, just not really able to do anything at this point in time. Tough break for that 19 and his crew. Also, a big hit, because Tommy D'Angelo is going to have to be very careful for the rest of the evening, having to burn up that fast repair very, very early. We still got a very long way to go, working lap 7 out of the 94 scheduled in tonight's official race distance for the big one on the Boulevard 250 for Superior Class Auto Racing presented to you by Mug Root Beer, live here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Whether you're a fan, friend, family, we appreciate each and every time you do stop by, whether it's myself, Darkside Dave in the cave here in the Turn 3 Racing Network production booth, or any of the other guys and gals back at the headquarters. So, it looks like we have had the entire field, except for maybe 4 drivers, make that 5 drivers, come to pit road. So, tire strategy a little bit different at this point in time. Pit strategy a little bit different at this time as far as fuel mileage is concerned. Can these drivers make it all the way to lap 30 on the fuel they got? Are these caution laps helping put them in the window? Or are they still going to have to come down? And if that's the case, I'm not quite sure why anybody would have pitted just yet. Maybe some head game strategy always going on. Things changing. Maybe looking at strategy for the long game. Maybe thinking, okay, well, I go now. I don't stop at the end of stage number 1. Then I come in through the middle of stage 2. Get the fuel. And take it to the end. I don't know. Could be one. I'm not a crew chief or anything. I'm just saying. Field double file making their way through turn number 3. Pace car lights are off, so that means we'll go back green flag racing this time by. Well, these drivers continue to kind of, I mean, they started playing nice. A little bit of a bump gone wrong. Found us under caution for the first time here tonight for the big one on the Boulevard 250 here at Talladega Super Speedway. Pace car gonna duck off this time by. We'll get set to go back green flag racing once again. Coming to the line this time, gonna begin lap number 9 when we see the green flag fly. Your race leader, ELO Jr., on the inside, hitting the gas in the box, and away we go at Talladega Super Speedway. Great start by a lot of the guys at the front. Looks like Thomas McMullen, little bit of issues, didn't fix the damage. The rear of his car still looking a little bit worse for the wear right now here on lap number 9. Mark Truxell, where did he come from? Up 7 positions from where he started, now sitting in the 3rd spot, pushing that 74 down the backstretch, trying to get him back to the front. Thomas McMullen surging forward just a little bit now. 3 wide at the front of the field. McMullen leading the inside lane, outside lane being led by Jeff Napier down there on the inside. Mike Yellow Jr. still holding strong with the 74. Mark Truxell just behind him. Then the 85 of Jason Baker hugging that yellow line, keeping Truxell right there on the bumper of that 74. Now Thomas McMullen starting to surge once again on the outside as they head through the center of 1 and 2. Big push there by the 18 of Chris Mathis. That's going to clear the 0-2, but now coming back on the inside lane, drag racing down the backstretch. 2 now make it 3 wide for the race lead. And it looks like Thomas McMullen got okey-doked right there, got put in the middle in the sucker hole. Now Bobby Hamilton Jr. jumps to the middle lane. 3 wide for second. Truxell on the inside, Hamilton Jr. in the middle with Mathis running the high lane. No help in the middle for Hamilton Jr. Not falling back quite as much as we may have thought. Now trying to get back to the outside lane, and he is in no man's land right now. Help coming, but still 3-4 cars back. Continuing to see that middle lane work for Bobby Hamilton Jr., not being freight trained, as we've seen Thomas McMullen kind of drop through the field when he went 3 wide middle all alone, as Mathis gets the push and he goes to the front. David Bradford, absolute madman, pushing that 18 of Mathis around not only Bobby Hamilton Jr., but pushing him around Mikey Elo Jr. He's going to drop from the 3rd lane all the way to the bottom. Now to lead the race, this time by the stripe. Put a lap lead in the back pocket of that 18 Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry of Chris Mathis. Him and his crew getting the job done very early. Lap number 12 here out of 94. Stage 1 coming to an end on lap number 30. So about halfway through stage number 1 here. We haven't seen the calmest of racing. The race started pretty calm, pretty organized. Most of the drivers dropped straight down to the bottom, but now fighting for position just a little bit here. This run, and it looks like we may see a second pack starting to develop. Looks like that pack's being led by Brian Littleton in the 80, Roy Hyde in his 13 machine, Brian Maskell Jr., Hayes Booth, J.D. Baker, all back there, Joshua Baker as well. Looks like they're about a second and a half off of this lead pack intentionally. They have the speed, but it looks like every now and then they jump out of the gas a little bit just to kind of maintain that gap. Not really wanting to be up there with all the mess right now, as some of these drivers elect to try to keep themselves out of harm's way here in stage number 1. Jeff Napier trying to make that outside lane work. Not quite going the right way for him. Big push there. A little bit of a wiggle as Colt Ansley jumps from 3rd in line inside to try to take over the lead of the outside lane. He's going to, slot in just in front of Jeff Napier. Ooh, that could have been pretty sketchy right there. Matter of fact, it was sketchy. A little bit dangerous. David Bradford now hunting the top spot. He's going to jump out of line, 4th car back, and make a surge to the front with help from the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Those 2 drivers now break even with the bottom front 2 drivers, and we've got a side-by-side battle from 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Colt Ansley now closing in on the bumper of Bobby Hamilton Jr. as they make their way down the backstretch. That's a 4-car train on the outside lane, now being led by David Bradford, and he's going to drop to the bottom. That's going to leave Bobby Hamilton Jr. out there with help from Colt Ansley. Can Bradford keep that top spot to the line and lead a lap here at Talladega Superspeedway? Big push coming off of 4 this time by out of Mathis, returning the favor. Remember, it was the 46 that pushed Mathis to the lead. Now Mathis returning the favor, pushing that 46 around at the bottom right there, hugging that double yellow lane. In the outside lane seems to have stalled out just a little bit, with the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. leading that lane. Colt Ansley with the push. Mathis jumps out of line going into turn number 3. Gonna try to take over that outside lane and get back to the to the race lead. Bobby Hamilton Jr. once again pushing another driver to the front as Mathis looks to clear, almost there. Now the inside lane. Coming back through the center of 1 and 2, still side by side for your top 6 positions. Great camera shots being brought to you tonight by Esteban. If you haven't already checked out the description, click the link down below. Head on over there. Check out some of the great camera work that Esteban provides. Big shout out to him and everything that he does. Appreciate all the hard work. Great cameras for us here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. So big shout out to him. If you haven't looked through the description, go on down there, click on it. It'll take you right over there. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So big shout out to him and everything he does for us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Great shots here from around this great track, Talladega Superspeedway. Absolutely love each and every time I get to go there, whether it's here on the simulator or in real life. Talladega is an absolute blast. Yalo Jr. jumping to the outside, trying to hunt the front. Once again, he's going to make it. Now drop back down to the bottom. He's going to take over the race lead. Bobby Hamilton Jr. getting left behind on that high lane. That third lane now slots in just behind Colt Ansley as Chris Mathis drops the elevator down to the bottom. And he's going to slot in just behind that 74 of Yalo Jr. as your pole sitter back to the front, back to leading today's race. Your top 11 drivers that time by all within a half of a second of each other. So from Chris Mathis all the way back to Jeff Napier running in the 40th position, only a half of a second separates all of those drivers. Unbelievable. Speeds upwards of 200 miles an hour as these drivers head back into turn number 3. Mathis still hugging that double yellow line. Looks like a Yellow Jr. trying to make a middle lane, but Colt Ansley having none of it, blocking that run there through the center. That's going to force that 74 to stay glued to the bumper of the 18. 4 cars on the top, 5 on the bottom. Help coming from Truxell. He'll make the 5th car on the outside lane. A little bit of a yo-yo seesaw race so far for Mark Truxell. Gained 7 positions early since has given them all up and is back to running right where he started today's race, back in the 10th spot. Now looking to go 3 wide is Truxell all by himself. I am not sure that is going to work out, but he's still going to try it. Nowhere to go right now as he's getting freight trained by the cars going by on the bottom. Looks like Truxell going to try to get down there and run that middle lane behind the 85 of Jason Baker. Chris Mathis continuing to lead the race. Colt Ansley in his 86 trying to get around on the outside and lead a lap. Ansley not leading a lap yet here so far in the big one on the boulevard. 250 here for the Superior Class Auto Racing, presented to you by Mug Root Beer. Want to give a big shout out to not just all the drivers on track tonight, but all you fans stopping by. Friends, family, we appreciate each and every time you join us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Want to give a big shout out to Lil Tate's Cupcakes, Red Dot Storage, First Horizon, as well as Cameron Hagman Photography. Drivers getting mixed up at the front. 2, 3 wide once again. 3 wide battle for the race lead. Ooh, and Mathis is getting shuffled out. Mathis goes from leading the race to almost outside of the top 10 within one lap. That is absolutely phenomenal. When it happens big, and it happens quick. Not just your positions, but also the trouble here at Talladega Super Speedway, especially these plate races just like Talladega and Daytona. It happens, and it happens quick. It happens in the blink of an eye, and most of the time, your reaction time just isn't enough as we see more three-wide racing. I almost said in the back of the field, but it's not. It's right there, right around the 10th position. And normally, under normal circumstances, you say back in 10th, and you got a couple seconds to the race leader. Here, Talladega, no, sir. Your top 13 are all within 1 second of each other. The entire field is all within 3 seconds of each other. Looks like J.D. Baker and Joshua Baker, both of those drivers off pace just a little bit. They're about 2.5 seconds back from your race leader, the 74 of Mike Yellow Jr., trying to win stage number 1 after putting it on the pole here tonight for the big one on the Boulevard, 250 for Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. Bobby Hamilton Jr. trying to take the 25 to the top of the charts. Can he do it? He's been a bridesmaid, pushed a few cars to the race lead, but hasn't been able to lead a lap yet himself. Can he take that 25 Waffle House machine to the front of the field? I surely hope so. Coming off of 4. Oh, yeah, got the field in hand. Not clear just yet. Ooh, very close to 25. Going to cross the line first that time by. He's going to lead a lap. Now drop to the bottom. Go ahead and smother and cover him just like that. Waffle House style, baby. Bobby Hamilton Jr. to the top of the speed charts. Huge run by DeFries and Mathis on the outside. Man, Mathis with a huge push on DeFries. That has got DeFries clear. Not going to drop to the bottom just yet. Thinking about it, ain't gonna work. You gotta drop as soon as you hear clip. Even if he's gonna say clever move and you thought he was gonna say clear, you still go. You just go. No time to waste here at a super speedway like Talladega. Ooh, Alan DeFries maybe clear, dropping to the bottom this time by. Close racing there out of the 85 of Jason Baker. He now finds himself 3 wide in the middle, making his way around the 18 of Chris Mathis. Ooh, Mathis pushing that outside lane to the front. Push DeFries all the way up there and then got left behind. Bobby Hamilton Jr. going to surge back to the front of the field in the middle lane, now dropping to the bottom. That's going to leave that 74 in the middle, and it's a 3-wide battle for second. Three wide racing through the front of the field, coming across the line this time by. Going to begin lap 28 out of the scheduled 94 in the official race distance. Oh, and around goes Yellow Jr. Caution going to come out this time by. Ooh-wee. Looks like a few drivers may have been involved in that one. We'll take a look, see what happened here. Oh, and it just looks like a little bit of slight contact. Back it up one more time. See if we can't get the blimp on it. One more look from overhead. Here you see, looking to the inside is Jeff Napier. Little bit of contact, and that's all it took. Oh! Ooh! That could have been really bad for a lot of drivers. Luckily, nobody caught up in that one. So we'll rejoin the front of the field with your race leader, the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Going to bring the field back behind the pace car. And I believe this will be not just our second caution, but I believe the admin's probably going to go ahead and make this the stage caution as well. It being we're right on that lap 30 mark. Stage was set to end on lap 30. We're working lap 29, so pit road going to open this time by, or at least I believe it should open up this time by. We'll have to wait and see as Bobby Hamilton Jr. tries to slow his Waffle House forward, almost into the outside wall. Oh my goodness. That was big moment here for who was your race leader. And that's going to put the front of this field in a kind of precarious situation here. Bobby Hamilton Jr. going to have to gather it up and get back in front of these drivers if they're going to want to pit, unless the official's going to go ahead and wave off the black flags if any of these drivers pit before Bobby Hamilton Jr. gets back up to them. And it looks like that may be just what they're going to do. Looks like the majority of the field going to come down pit road this time. Yes, looking down pit lane, looks like all the drivers coming to pit road, so admin's going to just go ahead and wave off them black flags. Nobody's fault, really. So as timing and scoring kind of goes crazy and these drivers get their pit stops done and over with, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, grab ourselves a quick drink, and we'll get back here trackside for all your live racing action here from Talladega Superspeedway for the big one on the Boulevard. 250.
just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're going to lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. go back to pit lane, press and hold your reset button, and we'll come and get you.
Backtrack side field already ready to go back. Green flag racing this time by Alan Dufries in the 71 will bring the field to the green flag this time by Stage 1 in the books, a third of the way through tonight's big one on the Boulevard 250 here in the Superior Class Auto Racing presented by Mug Root Beer. Alan Dufries on the gas, but a better jump on the outside. Jason Baker gets moving on the outside. He's got Mark Truxell right behind him. Alan Dufries continues to lead that inside lane. Mathis right there pushing him through 1 and 2. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, you love it, I love it. Why don't we go ahead and mute the mics and head down trackside for a little bit of Turn It Up. Man, oh man. Sights and sounds from the track here at Talladega Super Speedway for Superior Class Auto Racing. Presented to you by Mug Root Beer. Lap 37 in the books. Coming to begin lap 38 this time by. We're closing in on the halfway point here in tonight's big one on the Boulevard 250. 94 laps scheduled in tonight's official race distance. Stage cautions coming out at lap number 30 as well as lap number 60. So these drivers well on their way to trying to set themselves up for stage number 2. And oh, Brian Littleton getting out of Dodge. Ejectocito. He goes to the back. Oh, and looks like an engine expiring at the front for the 74 of Mikey Yalo Jr., your pole sitter. Big trouble for him. He's going to fall through the field. We'll keep an eye on Yalo Jr. now. There you see him getting passed by the entire field, and it is going to be a long way around the track for him. He is going to give up a ton of time to the field. There you see Bobby Hamilton Jr. He was just behind Yalo Jr. on the front stretch when that engine let go. He's got the 33 of Brian Maskell Jr. just behind him, trying to get up to the front of the field, and it looks like most of these drivers now single file, electing a little bit more calm racing right now after that engine expiring right there on the front stretch. Maybe got a few of these drivers looking down at the temperature gauges, looking at the oil temp, looking at the water temp, relaying those temperatures back and forth to their crew chief. So, I don't know. And just as I say it's starting to calm down, well, here comes tornado number 2. Mathis going to the front of the field. Bradford jumps out there to the outside lane with them. They've got help by the 0-2 of Thomas McMullen. Now it's a 3-wide battle. Colt Ansley in the middle. Almost contact with DeFries. Ansley snakes his way into the 3rd spot. Ooh, that was very, very close and slight contact there between that 86 and 71. Outside lane struggling to get going as Mark Truxell tries to get up there. Oh, and McMullen going to drop to the bottom. Ooh, looks like Truxell going to get freight trained. He's going to fall back through the field just a little bit, try to regain some momentum and make another run back to the front. Truxell sitting in the top 10 right now in that 10th position here as we work lap 41 out of 94. Just for you meteorologists out there, the weather people, this is how the track's looking right about now. Looks like track has cooled off just a bit. Air temperature has rose 1 degree, but the track has cooled off about 5 or 6 degrees out there. So I wouldn't necessarily say starting to get a little more grippy, because it was definitely hot and slick when these drivers took to the track. So the rubber is definitely, oh, big push from Mathis, and that gets Bradford sideways off track, but able to keep it headed in the right direction. Oh my goodness, what a save by that 46 of David Bradford. My goodness, that's some championship form right there if I've ever seen it. That 46 Dr. Pepper Ford Mustang was absolutely sideways, and somehow, some way, kept it headed in the right direction. Mark Truxell now with another run back to the front, now sitting in the 5th spot. Just 2 or 3 laps ago, he was sitting in 10th. Now another big run by Truxell. He's going to challenge for this 4th spot. He's got 2 drivers in tow with him, trying to make it to the front with him. Looks like the 3 of Tom and D'Angelo jumps outside just in front of Mark Truxell, and now a few drivers jump back down to the bottom. Jeff Napier bails on the high line. He jumps back down to the bottom behind Chris Mathis, and that slows the momentum of that outside lane. What once was gaining now is dropping. Mark Truxell now losing some spots once again, and he's just kind of had that yo-yo, that accordion. He gets up there and goes back, gets up there and goes back. One of these times tonight, he's going to get up there and you're not going to be able to get by him. Now hunting the lead, the 86 of Ansley jumps to the outside line just in front of Tom D'Angelo. Outside numbers growing as Justin Napier has his 54 machine at the front of the field. Justin, was sitting as your biggest mover. Jeff Napier in the 40 now being shown as your biggest mover of the race, up 12 positions from his starting spot. Justin Napier up 11 positions from his starting spot, so great run out there for Napier right now in his Jack Daniels 54 Chevy ZL1 Camaro. And if it's a battle of the manufacturers, Chevy is on point here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. 4 out of your top 5 cars out there running right now are the Chevy ZL1 Camaros. Got a Toyota Camry sitting right there in second. Colt Ansley, the only driver out of the Toyota stable up inside that top 5. Then you've got Bobby Hamilton Jr., David Bradford, and their Ford Mustangs just behind them. 6th and 7th. Oh, contact, and the 85 goes hard into the outside wall. Caution comes out. Ooh, my goodness, that was some tough. As there you see Baker. Roy Hyde also involved in this one. We'll back it up, take a look, see what happened here. Not catching that right there, so we'll go back here with the camera from Roy Hyde, see how that all took place in front of him. Contact with Jeff Napier, and then nowhere to go for Roy Hyde, right into that right front. No contact with the wall, but that is some heavy, hard impact. That's a contact swing in baseball. That's what they call that right there. Ooh. Good little lick there for Roy Hyde and his 13 machine. Tough break. Man at the front of the field, this gentleman right here, the 54 of Justin Napier, not wanting to see that caution fly, but nonetheless, it has. So we got a little bit of a break here in stage number 2, lap 46. Out of the 94 scheduled in tonight's official race distance, do keep in mind stage number 2 comes to a conclusion at lap number 60. So these drivers only about 15 laps away from that happening. Do they come down pit road? Do they stay out? Who's going to roll the dice? Who's going to do what they ain't? Ooh, and it looks like your leader, Justin Napier, okie doke this time. Then we've got a few drivers, everybody on back. Everybody outside of the top 5, I should say, besides your race leader at the time. The 54 of Justin Napier decided to come to pit road. Colt Ansley, Alan Dufries, Tommy D'Angelo, and Thomas McMullen all stay out on track. We'll wait to see if these drivers hit pit road this time, or if Ansley's just out there trying to maybe get a point for leading a lap. I mean, it's worth the point. I mean, I'll stay out the first time. Go ahead, get my point. Go down pit road, get my penalty. Start at the end of the field. And, yeah. Pedal to the metal when the green flag flies. So as the field works their way around the track under caution, we're going to step away for yet one more commercial break. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back.
Hi, I'm Johnny with Little Tate's Cupcakes. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's race on the Turn 3 Network. Little Tate's Cupcakes is a bakery based out of Owensboro, Kentucky. We specialize in cookies, cakesicles, cakes, and cupcakes for every occasion. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram for more of our work and for daily specials. Go number 5.
Backtrack side once again, field under caution for the third time here today. One of them being the end of stage number 1. So only 2 cautions here for crashes or wrecks, I should say. Well, either way, sometimes you can crash without wrecking. You know how it is sometimes. Sometimes you wreck it and you never hit a thing, you know what I mean? Anyways, field ready to go back. Green flag racing going to be brought to the green flag by your race leader, the 86 of Colt Ansley, down there on the inside row. Starting to his outside on this restart, the 71 of Alan Dufries, Tommy D'Angelo right there, as well as Thomas McMullen. Long way around the tri-oval to get to the restart box. Ansley waiting to get on the gas. Green flag flies once again here at Talladega Superspeedway. Lap 49 now underway. We are past the halfway point. And tonight's the big one on the Boulevard 250 here in Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. Field still double file at the front. Drivers jockeying for position. Looks like a little bit of a connection issues there briefly for Tommy D'Angelo, flashing just a little bit, but he stays in line. Your top 6 all side by side. Top 8 now side by side. Brian Mescal Jr. now breaking in to the picture at the front, running 4th car inside lane in that 8th position. He's got the Waffle House Ford Mustang being piloted by Bobby Hamilton Jr. just to his outside. Right behind that Dr. Pepper 46 machine being piloted by David Bradford. Bradford searching for another race win here in season number 2 for Superior Class Auto Racing. Case and Plot sitting with 4 wins on the season. David Bradford with 2, Will Smith with 2, and Chris Mathis with 2 wins as well. Nobody else has visited victory lane just yet, and let me just double check the stats. Yes, indeed, that is correct. So could we have a new first-time winner of the season? We'll just have to wait and see, as we've got about 45 laps now remaining here at Talladega Superspeedway. 11 laps to the end of stage number 2. Crossing the line, just 10 laps remain here in stage number 2. The 02 of Thomas McMullen now takes the top spot, running that middle lane, but surging forward once again comes the 71 of Alan Dufries and the 86 of Colt Ansley. Inside lane breaking up just a little bit. That's going to benefit the run on the outside. Now McMullen drops to the bottom. That's going to put Bradford at the lead of that outside lane. Has a teammate, has some help right behind him. Bobby Hamilton Jr., Chris Mathis right there as well. Mark Truxell starting to surge back into the mix. 4th car outside lane, put Truxell inside your top 8. Gonna run through a little bit of house cleaning for you here today from Talladega. Oh, big drop down by Bradford right across the nose of the 02 of McMullen. My goodness, that was close. Gonna go through a little bit of house cleaning. Almost had some more house cleaning to do as we work our way back to the line, this time by to begin lap 53. 20 cars came to the track. We've still got 18 cars out there on track. 18 cars still on the lead lap as the Waffle House number 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. drops to the bottom just in front of David Bradford and takes away the race lead. Now surging on the outside with help from Colt Ansley is the 18 of Chris Mathis. Can Mathis get by Bobby Hamilton Jr. going into the corner? No, that inside lane comes surging back. The outside, they've got the numbers, they've got the cars, but that inside lane, shorter distance around the racetrack, intends to be the fast way around here. So those 4 cars holding their own against 5 now make it 6 lined up on that outside. Breaking out of line is the 71 of Alan Dufries. Maybe the engine getting a little hot, trying to get it cooled off. That's gonna hurt the run of that outside lane. There you see now Mathis pulling backwards, or falling backwards even with the 46 of Bradford now, as Dufries still desperately trying to cool off his machine. Now make it a 3 wide party, and Owen Ansley scrapes the wall going into 3. Starting to see a little bit bigger gap develop through some of these drivers through the field. Looks like Brian Littleton, last car right here in this lead pack, running in the 13th spot. He's about 0.8 of a second off of your race leader, Bobby Hamilton Jr., as he's got David Bradford right there. Whew. Gosh, they are taking side drafting to a whole nother level out there. Big move out of Napier. He's going to jump out of line, drop to the bottom in front of Bobby Hamilton Jr., and now try to take that top spot away from David Bradford, who had surged to the front with a big push by Mathis on the outside, but didn't elect to drop to the bottom, so that allowed Napier to drop down in front of Bobby Hamilton Jr. now to almost 3 wide, back to just 2 wide. As Bradford clears the 54, that's going to let and Bradford goes around. Bradford off track and around. We stay. Green flag racing. Oh my goodness. Things getting a little bit dicey here coming to the end of stage number 2. A little bit of a gentleman move there by Bobby Hamilton Jr. Napier with a big wiggle, went off track, or went onto the apron a little bit. Bobby Hamilton Jr. letting him slide back up in line. Could have forced the issue and made him stay down there below that yellow line. But thinking better of it, Bobby Hamilton Jr. gonna slide in the third position right now. Your race leader is Chris Mathis. Justin Napier right there on his gearbox now jumping to the outside. 4 laps remaining here in stage number 2, and it is an all-out war at the front of this field. My goodness, I don't know who's gonna take this stage win, but it is a very, very close battle. There you see the battle now for second, now for third. It's gonna switch around as Bobby Hamilton Jr. kind of jockeys positions, going over the timing and scoring lines side by side for your top 8 positions as the field makes their way through the tri-oval. This time by gonna see the 2 to go mark here in stage number 2. Then we'll get a short about 35 lap run, probably about a 30 lap after you take the caution flags off of it, after you take the pace laps off, I should say, after the stage caution. So gonna be a shorter run to the end for these drivers, as Napier, he wants the lead. He wants the lead when it matters, and that's the end of this stage. He's went out there, got the lead of the outside lane, but hasn't really surged forward just yet. Has gotten a push, but looks like he's kind of backed off. Doesn't want to make that move just yet. Wants to make it to make sure he can keep that top spot as we cross the line this time by to begin lap 59. My goodness, the stage end right here at our doorstep. Oh, big block to the outside. That's going to put Napier into the wall. Mathis goes to block the run by Napier. Napier into the wall. Mathis losing that top spot. Here comes Bobby Hamilton Jr. being pushed by Thomas McMullen. Back to the front stretch. McMullen looking. Blocked by Hamilton Jr. Now the 0-2 jumps to the outside. Long way around to get back to the stripe. Bobby Hamilton Jr. gonna cross the line first here at the end of stage number 2. We should see that caution flag fly here momentarily. Hamilton Jr. still leading the field right now as we continue green flag racing still, so caution not coming out just yet. Maybe the completion of lap 60. We'll just have to wait and see. Either way, that was a heck of a move by Bobby Hamilton Jr. to keep the field behind him. Now Thomas McMullen jumps to the outside, side drafting big time with the 74 of Mikey Yellow Jr. Side by side for your race lead. Coming off of turn number 4 through the tri-oval, who has the push? Looks like the help is with Bobby Hamilton Jr. At the line, the 25 gets pushed and almost goes around. Ooh, as the competition caution or stage caution comes out, Bobby Hamilton Jr. almost went for a ride. And I tell you what, being a former member of the organization and the company, we're going to give you something normally don't do too much. But man, look at that pretty thing right there, boy. Waffle House, very close to heart. Brother still works in the company. I want to give a big shout out to a lot of the upper echelon with the Waffle House clan, crew, company, whatever you want to call them. Big shout out to, I believe he is still a VP, Dave Rickle. Also Bert Thornton. Yep, that's right, Bert's Chili. That's Bert Thornton himself right there. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many people, so many great people at Waffle House to thank, and do appreciate everything they do. One of the better or best restaurant chains, I would say, around here in the U.S. But big shout out to Bobby Hamilton Jr. walking away with the win here in stage number 2. Field trying to get themselves sorted out before they come down pit road for what may be, barring any late race shenanigans, what may be the final stop of the race. They'll be able to make it to the end on fuel from here. Drivers able to stretch it right around 33 laps on the fuel. So it looks like the drivers will all come to pit road this time by, so you know what that means. That means I get to step away from the mic for a minute, go to the little boys' room, and then rejoin you for all the great green flag racing action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
back at the track just in time. Green flag flies once again here at Talladega Superspeedway. Mikey Yellow Jr. brings the field back to green flag conditions. Thomas McMullen leads the outside lane, now getting left behind. Bobby Hamilton Jr., winner of stage number 2, right there, slotted in the second position. Second car inside row. Colt Ansley drops from the bottom to take over that third spot. Do want to keep everybody in mind of the races coming up here in the next coming weeks here in the Superior Class Auto Racing, presented to you by Mug Root Beer. There you see it right there. 2 weeks we head to Texas Motor Speedway for round number 12. Then we'll hit the track once again at the famed Paperclip Martinsville Speedway. Then we'll head all the way across country to hit up California before we head into the final race of the season. So gonna be one heck of a stretch here to find out who will walk away with the championship here in season number 2. And it looks like we've got 2 very distinct packs already being developed out here. Your top 10 all right here, pretty much single file. Mark Truxell running the high line back there in the 7th position. He's got 3 more cars lined up now, going to drop to the bottom. Truxell going to try to get the gap closed in just a little bit more, but here we see, very interesting, back here, this smaller pack of cars, second group of cars out there. Tommy D'Angelo, Jeff Napier, Justin Napier, Jason Baker, Roy Hyde, Brian Littleton, all of those drivers back here in that second pack. Maybe playing it safe for just a moment, but they're going to have to get single file to get back to the front very, very soon. Back up at the front of the field here, the 74 of Mikey Yellow Jr. continues to lead the race, has Bobby Hamilton Jr. right behind him. Thomas McMullen right there, but he seems to be a little anxious. Not looking like he wants to keep that Valvoline 02 right there behind Bobby Hamilton Jr. He's trying to get that Chevy Z01 Camaro some fresh air. In the front has been just absolutely marred with debris. That white paint scheme almost turning grayish, I would say, with some of the oil and rubber being laid down out there on the track. And for the first time here today, or actually second, we've seen it happen very early in the race. In the first few laps, inside lane getting nice and calm, nice and organized, everybody staying in line. And man, where did he come from? Brian Mescal Jr. up 9 positions, now jumps to the outside. He's going to hunt the lead. And I'm not sure, maybe that was a little too soon. Gonna try to get down in line in front of the 5 of Truxell. Not going to be able to, so now Brian Mescal Jr. going to lose another 2 or 3 spots as the field begins to freight train him on the bottom. Looks like there's about 7 cars lined up on the outside lane now. Chris Mathis ducking to the outside. He's going to help Truxell. Ansley 3 wide middle once again here at Talladega Superspeedway. Your outside lane fans out just a little bit as the field begins to all come back together. That Slinky stretched out, but it is starting to bring the field back together. Roy Hyde, last car out there on track, and he is only 1.5 seconds off of your race leader. We'll take a look back here at Roy. There you see all those cars right in front of him as the 2 of Hayes Booth on the apron there for a moment. He comes back on track. No harm, no foul, no problems. But the field's starting to re-slinky back with each other. I think I'm going to coin that phrase, slinkying. That's what the field is doing. They don't accordion, they slinky. They stretch out and they all come together. Now the lines back and forth, we'll go with accordion on that one. 24 laps gonna be remaining when the field crosses the stripe this time by. There you see it now, beginning lap 71 out of the 91 scheduled in tonight's official race. And Brian Mescal Jr. goes sideways. Mark Truxell involved. Oh, we stay green though. I do not know how they did not die. Oh my goodness. Mark Truxell, where's he at? Front end looks fairly decent. I don't know how him and Brian Mescal Jr., I don't know how these two drivers did not crash. They absolutely wrecked, but they just did not crash. Brian Mescal Jr. now off pace. Looks like he may be having to come to pit road, and that is going to put a damper on the night for Brian Mescal Jr. running very, very well here in the late stages of the race. Gonna bring it to pit road now. Looks like something may be broken on the front end of that machine. Nonetheless, back up at the front of the field. Gonna go back up there with your race leader, the 74, Mikey Yellow Jr., as he's still got Bobby Hamilton Jr. in tow. Colt Ansley out there digging on the outside with help from Chris Mathis. That run's not going to go anywhere as Alan Dufries closes in on the rear of Bobby Hamilton Jr., third car inside lane. And down and away goes Brian Mescal Jr., and it is going to be, I don't want to say all for naught because a caution changes everything. Mescal Jr. electing to come down to pit road, put that fast repair to use, get back out there on track. Going to try to stay clean, try to stay in front of your race leaders, but that is going to be a big, big task at hand. He's only about a half a straightaway in front of these drivers, and they are about 20 miles an hour faster than he is at this point in time. So Mescal Jr. with an uphill battle here as we slowly click off the laps, an inch closer and closer to the witching hour here at Talladega Superspeedway for the Big 1-250 in Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. There you see Brian Mescal Jr. right there next to that outside wall, letting the leaders go by. That's going to put Brian Mescal Jr. the first and only car one lap down. So if he can keep it clean and we get a late race caution, he'll find himself with the lucky dog and able to get back on the lead lap and caught back up to the field. So very tiptoe situation now for that 33 and the rest of his crew. And I tell you what, haven't done a lot of onboard cameras out there tonight, caught up in bringing you a lot of the great racing action. So let's see if we can't go around the track to a few of our drivers out there with onboard cameras. Looks like we do have one on that 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. So let's see if we can't get that for you. Looks like he's got our onboard gyro cam here in the 25. Waffle House Ford Mustang running in the second position. Bobby Hamilton Jr. with a great race so far out there today. Right there behind that Pink Panther 74 of Mike Yellow Jr. just in front of him. Let's see if we can't go back to now David Bradford with one of our cockpit cameras here on his 46 Dr. Pepper Ford Mustang as he's running in the 8th position. 4th car outside lane. There you see the wiggling going on from the drivers around him. So a bit of a precarious situation that he finds himself in. Needs to get to the front, but doesn't want to push the envelope just too hard, too soon. Now looking to go to the middle. There you see Bradford losing a little bit of ground. Those 4 cars in the outside lane. Colt Ansley, Chris Mathis, Thomas McMullen, David Bradford just not getting to the front. And as I say that, Mathis looks to go 3 wide. Ansley blocks it. That's going to shuffle McMullen out on that outside lane. Tough break for him and his crew. He's going to drop a spot or 2. But more importantly, that's going to help out that inside lane as the outside lane begins to fall to the wayside just a little bit. Now 3 wide. Ansley goes back to the middle. Starting to get dicey at the front of the field. Colt Ansley 3 wide between Napier and Mathis. Big move by Tommy D'Angelo in the 3 machine, jumping from the bottom to the outside. That's going to put him at the lead of that outside lane. Colt Ansley trying to get to the bumper. He's still got help from Chris Mathis. David Bradford in the 46 still running that high lane as well. Bradford's got help from Baker. Well, had help from Baker as he's dropping to the bottom lane. Running the middle right now, but should see him slot down on that bottom lane in big trouble back there for a few of these other drivers. Looks like Brian Littleton in the 80 to 13 of Roy Hyde, Jeff Napier, as well as Hayes Booth. They're about 8, almost 9 seconds off of the race leader. So I'm not sure if that's by design or if just the horses have been let out the stable and they may be down a few saddles. I have no idea what that meant. It sounded really good in my head when I was saying it, and then it got really weird and confusing. Just saying. Looky here, battling at the front of the field, 1 lap down. Brian Mescal Jr. trying to do it the hard way, the good old-fashioned way, and unlap himself. He's going to be hard-pressed to do that all alone on that high lane out there, that Harry Gant. High, wide, and handsome. That 3rd lane not working out when you're all by yourself. What is working out, though? Front of the field. Hugging that double yellow line. Working out for the 74, Mikey Yellow Jr. Now 3 wide battle next to Alan Dufries. Tommy D'Angelo right there getting big time push by Chris Mathis. Offset quite a bit. This could get a little bit dangerous if they're not careful. And oh my, if we thought some of the pushing was big, if we thought some of the runs were huge, wait for them. Now we are under 15 to go. Now lap. Just 13 laps. Sorry, lost train of thought. Now just 13 laps left here in the big one on the Boulevard. 250 at Talladega Superspeedway for Superior Class Auto Racing's round number 11 here already in round number 11 here for the super run here at the Super Speedway. I mean, this has been an absolute pleasure to watch some great racing action. These drivers have been mixing it up all night long. If you haven't already, throw these drivers a thumbs up. Let them know you like and appreciate all the great racing action they've been bringing to you out there on track. Hit subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself Darkside Dave in the cave in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth, or any of the other guys, gals back at the headquarters at Turn 3 Racing Network. Tons of great racing content, racing action. You want dirt, we got it. Late models, we got it. Modifieds, got them too. We got what you want. Come get your fix for racing over here at Turn 3 Racing Network Field. Making their way off of Turn 4. This time by gonna begin 11 laps to go here at Talladega Superspeedway, and it has been quite a torrent pace. Only about an hour and 15 minutes now into the race. These drivers have been just putting on a great pace all race long. Looking through, gonna see if I can't find out who's gonna walk away with the fastest lap award. And right now it looks like Justin Napier in the 54 has a 47.74. That looks to be the fastest lap. Oh my goodness! And Mathis goes hard into the wall. Mathis hard into the wall after some moments thereby. I believe that may have been the 85 of Jason Baker getting a little out of shape, and that, I don't want to say spooked, but that had Mathis correct on the wheel just a little bit and hard into that outside wall, and he's going to fall through the field now, running in the 12th position. Last car right here, barely hanging on to this lead draft. And the drivers behind him, not going to catch him anytime soon. He's still got about 8 seconds back to the next group of drivers. Brian Littleton, Roy Hyde, Jeff Napier, and Hayes Booth. And back there in a 4-car pack, way off the pace, but maybe trying to play it safe, trying to give themselves plenty of room to calm down and get the car woed up, as it is a 2 and 3 car battle up here at the front. Mikey Elo Jr. still leading the race, has pretty much led the race since the drop of the green flag on the restart. Bobby Hamilton Jr. still right there in his 25 machine. That Waffle House Ford Mustang has been dialed in and cranked up all evening long. Great run. Oh, Yellow, a little bit of a wiggle after the push by Bobby Hamilton Jr. Oh, and around goes the 77, contact with the 33. Oh my goodness, not sure how that one's going to work out for Brian Mescal Jr. A little bit of contact, not sure if he's going to get that lucky dog or not. Looks like Colt Ansley also involved in this one, so we'll take a look back here with that 86. Ooh, missing the front clip. That cannot be good. Oh, and there you see the cars just kind of piling in on Colt Ansley. We'll look back. That's after the fact. Ansley just kind of pinballed around there by a few drivers. Chris Mathis almost involved, almost caught up in that one as well. Jason Baker was involved in this one. There you see him backwards up against the wall. Tough break for him as well, but you know who that benefits? That benefits these drivers right here that slowly caught up to the field, and now they're well and clear of the caution, well and clear of the chaos, and they're going to be able to line up back with the lead pack. We'll see what they can do on the restart. So Brian Littleton, Roy Hyde, Jeff Napier, and Hayes Booth, maybe that strategy worked out. We'll have to wait and see. We'll rejoin the leader at the front of the field. What's he going to do? Does he stay or does he go? With 8 laps to go, coming to 7 laps to go, looks like your race leader is going to stay out on a track. And if by some chance Brian Mescal Jr. does not get the lucky dog, that's going to leave him stuck 1 lap down, and he's going to have to pray for one more caution. And due to the contact during the crash, Brian Mescal Jr. skipped over for the lucky dog. Lucky dog gonna go to the 5 of Mark Truxell. And Brian Mescal Jr. is gonna find himself in a really, really tough spot now. Gonna be scored the first and only car 1 lap down. But the time is running out for his chance to walk away with a race win here today from Talladega Superspeedway for the big one on the Boulevard 250. And ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we haven't quite seen the big one yet. Could we see it soon? We'll have to wait and see. Hope not, just because hate to see some great racing action kind of get thrown out of the window and just everybody go for broke. But I've also been behind the wheel a few times, and yeah, at this point in time, it's going for broke. We'll keep an eye on the timing and scoring, see if Brian Mescal Jr. comes down pit road this time. Just to top it off, go ahead and get fuel and tires. And indeed, he does come down pit road. Nothing really to lose. I don't want to necessarily say nothing to gain, but at least that gives him some 4 fresh tires. He'll be able to restart the race with the freshest tires out there on track. But we're only going to have 5 laps to go when we go back green flag racing. So not a green-white checker just yet. And if my memory is serving me correct, here in the Superior Class Auto Racing presented by Mug Root Beer, only 1 attempt at a green-white checkered, but only 1 caution is what Brian Mescal Jr. needs just to give his chances a glimmer of a hope that would get him back on the lead lap. And then, I mean, as long as you are on the lead lap, you absolutely have a chance. You can do it. We've seen drivers come from outside of the top 10 to win these plate races before. Can it be done again? We'll have to wait and see. You'll have to stay tuned in to see. Man, this is going to get crazy. This is going to get cranked up. I can't wait for these next few laps to unfold. And I tell you what, if you're out there on the YouTube side of things, go ahead down there in the chat and let me know, do you think we're going to stay green to the end, or are we going to get a green-white checkered finish? Field coming out of turn number 3 for what could be the final time behind that Ford Mustang pace car. We'll have to wait and see if this is the final time, but it's the final time. It's going to stay on track right now. Going to make the left-hand turn, get out of the way of the Superior Class Auto Racing drivers presented by Mug Root Beer here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Big shout out to Lil Tate's Cupcake, Red Dot Stores, First Horizon, as well as Cameron Hagman Photography. As we get set to hit the restart box, Alan Dufries on the gas, and away he goes. Tire spin out of the 25 and dropping right to the bottom. Big move out of Bobby Hamilton Jr. He wants that spot right behind your race leader so he can kind of determine when that outside lane run starts. May be able to block that run as well and utilize it to his advantage, put him into the top spot. 2 now 3 wide, halfway down the backstretch. Justin Napier trying to get his 54 machine up there, but oh no, just wait. Chris Mathis up through the middle. Mathis now leading that outside lane, and it looks like Alan Dufries, he wants to go out there, wants to block the run by the 18. Not going to go just yet. Now, Alan Dufries right across the nose of Chris Mathis. I thought that may have been a little bit too close, but apparently my new glasses aren't good enough, because Alan Dufries somehow had room to make that move to the outside. 4 laps remaining as these drivers are side by side for your top 4 spots. Halfway down the back stretch, the 74 Mikey Yellow Jr. and that Pink Panther paint scheme down there on the inside lane. Now the 71 of Alan Dufries, he's going to take the top spot. And crash, hard impact, and that is the big one. A lot of drivers involved in this one. Oh my goodness. Gonna take a look, and Chris Mathis involved, Bobby Hamilton Jr. involved. One more look, catching it after the fact. Oh my goodness, David Bradford up and around and upside down. Oh my, we'll take one more look at this one. Oh, hard impact. Bradford goes around. D'Angelo all torn up. Brian Littleton through the grass. Mark Truxell, did you see that? Look at Truxell snake his way through here. Oh my. My goodness. That was a heck of a drive by Truxell. Oh my. But what that does do, ladies and gentlemen, that gives maybe a fresh a breath of fresh air to that 33 of Brian Maskell Jr. We'll have to wait and see how the timing and scoring and the race officials deal with all that. See if he gets that lucky dog or not. If he does, that's going to put him back on the lead lap with a shot at the win. Chris Mathis, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Tommy D'Angelo, David Bradford, all on to pit road. It's a tough break for all 4 of those drivers. Not going to be able to, I don't believe any of them are going to be able to continue today's race. And just as I say that, looks like Tommy D'Angelo may be able to get his machine fired back up, but J.D. Baker, Thomas McMullen, Brian Littleton, Jeff Napier, Colt Ansley, they all come to pit road this time by. That's going to leave Alan Dufries, Mikey Yellow Jr., Justin Napier, Joshua Baker, Hayes Booth, Roy Hyde, and Mark Truxell out on track. Man, that was a little bit more than a mouthful right there. Your top 7 drivers all staying out on track, not going to come to pit road. And there it is, lucky dog recipient Brian Maskell Jr. somehow finds a way back onto the lead lap, and that's going to bring us to 13 drivers remaining on the lead lap out of the 20 that took to the grid here tonight. And as the laps have clicked off, we've had to begin that house cleaning list is getting a little bit longer out there. A few drivers still beating and banging on their machines. David Bradford still trying to repair his machine. Chris Mathis, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Jason Baker also down there beating the fender wells out. And we'll just have to wait and see how that all shakes out. And yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking we were going to get that green-white checkered. Wasn't really wanting to see it. I like seeing green flag racing, but I also like seeing some crazy restarts. So, 6 one way, half a dozen the other. What do you say? And looking through the timing and scoring, Brian Littleton came down pit road, used a fast repair, wasn't in his pit box very long at all, 2.5 seconds, so not really enough to even put a splash in it. Just comes down, uses that fast repair for what will be the final run to the finish of tonight's race in overtime this time right now. So field going a little bit further than the 94 laps scheduled in tonight's official race distance. That mileage going to push past that 250 mark, but It doesn't matter. As long as it's great racing, we can keep this up all night. And absolutely, Dennis, that was the big one. We had a few small incidents throughout the night, but none collecting quite the amount of cars that one collected. Timing and scoring only showing a few drivers involved in that one, but I'm willing to bet there was at least 7 or 8 drivers involved in that one for sure. Bradford took a huge hit. Chris Mathis took a huge hit as well. Both of those drivers still behind pit wall. Bobby Hamilton Jr. taking a big time hit as well. He's still down there on pit road trying to fix his machine. So some big names out early here. Bradford out. Mathis out. Plot out of the race as well. Only Will Jones left as a race winner so far this season, and he's not here tonight. So we're going to have a first-time winner here this season. This is I don't want to say gotten a little better, but this has gotten a little bit more interesting. Field double file as we begin to get ready to kick it off for what should be the final time of the race. Ford Mustang pace car lights are out. It's going to get ready to make that left-hand turn as soon as they get out of turn number 4. Your lineup for the restart here, coming to the first green, white, checkered in the Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. Here in the big one on the Boulevard 250, live on turn 3, Racing Network. Alan Dufresne's going to line up on the inside. Mike Yellow Jr. in the 74 just to his outside. Justin Napier, second row inside. Joshua Baker going to line up in the 4th spot. 5th will be Roy Hyde. Hayes Booth just behind him, I should say. And on the gas is Dufresne, and away we go. Outside lane did not get going, and that is going to help Dufresne get away. But do you really want to get away like that? Battle now being had back there for the 5th and 6th position. Mark Truxell goes around Roy Hyde. The top 5 were single file for a minute. Now they're all fanning out, and around goes Dufresne. Up and over. He's flipping down the backstretch. Caution flies. Napier involved. Ielo Jr. involved. Oh my goodness. Ooh, and it just looks like a little bit of a push there. Gone bad, turns the 71 around in front of the 74. Mark Truxell involved in that one. A few more drivers being caught up in this as well. Oh my goodness. Couple different angles of this one for you. Oh my gosh. Big time hits for a lot of drivers. Look at Dufresne just go flipping down the track. Oh my goodness. Brian Mescal Jr. back onto the lead lap, involved in that one as well. And I think almost the entire field, or what was left of the entire field, pretty much involved in this one as well. Oh my goodness. That is a ton of tore up race cars right there. And somehow, some way, leading the race here tonight in the 13 machine. We haven't really spoke about him all race long. Here we see him leading the field now. No hood. But yet leading the race, has an opportunity to maybe walk away with a race win. We'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out. We may have a second attempt at a green-white checkered here tonight. And it looks like a few drivers hitting pit road, so I believe we will have a second green-white checkered. Hayes Booth, Brian Mescal Jr., Mark Truxell, Justin Napier, Mikey Yalo Jr., Alan Dufries, all on the pit road this time. So I believe we will have a second attempt at a green-white checkered. And I think a few of these drivers are going to be sitting on pit road beating and banging on their car for quite some time. There you see the 85 of Jason Baker getting the wave around. He's going to go around the pace car. More than likely bring that machine down pit road. And absolutely looks like a lot of these drivers putting in a lot of work down there on pit road. Alan Dufries actually using a fast repair. I do believe that's going to get him out a little bit in front of the other drivers involved in that one. Justin Napier out of his car right now. My goodness, a lot of drivers involved in this latest incident. That's going to cut the field pretty much in half. We've got 13 drivers still on the lead lap, but we've got 3 of them still sitting on pit road right now, so we could see ourselves with only 10 drivers remaining on the lead lap when we go back green flag racing for what could be our final green-white checkered attempt. And with all that being said, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, grab ourselves a drink, and get ready for this run to the end. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Backtrack side once again. Field has caught up to the Ford Mustang pace car. Lights are out. We're set to go back green flag racing this time around. Roy Hyde in the 13 gonna bring the field to the green flag. His 13 machine has seen some better days. No hood on the 13 machine, but he still has the race lead. Lining up just behind him will be the 80 of Brian Littleton. Thomas McMullen will lead the outside lane. Joshua Baker right there behind him. A little bit of a mixed bag of cars here. We've got some cars with some damage. We've got some cars that have freshly used fast repairs. Who's willing to push the envelope? Who's willing to do anything it takes to get to victory lane? We'll wait and see. Here as we begin our quest to get to the end. Green, white, checkered number 2 underway. Roy Hyde waits to hit the loud pedal. Restart box now, and on the gas is the 13, and away we go. At Talladega Superspeedway, Brian Littleton not getting a good start at all. Not wanting to drop down to the bottom lane was the 0-2 of McMullen just yet. He's going to stay to that high side. Joshua Baker going to run the middle now. Jump to the outside as McMullen clears Roy Hyde with no problem. McMullen and Baker shaking away from the field. Here comes DeFries to third, 3 wide for a moment. The 78 of J.D. Baker now drops to the bottom in the 4th spot. Outside on that outside lane, Joshua Baker all alone. Now help comes from J.D. Baker. It's a tag team of Bakers at the front, side by side, coming to the white flag this time by. Next flag will end the race here at Talladega Superspeedway. Close racing at the front. DeFries and Baker almost touch. Entering turn number 1, Thomas McMullen leads the field off of turn number 2. Down the backstretch, big push out of DeFries. Outside lane, surging forward now. McMullen looking to block the top run. He gets spun to the inside. DeFries stays. He comes on track. Napier caught up. Baker caught up. There's a pile up at the top. Truxell involved. Roy Hyde, he gets caught. Oh my goodness, who is that shaking through? Is that Brian Littleton? Littleton shaking his way through. No, Ansley's gonna make it through. Oh my goodness, we had about 15 lead changes in the last quarter of a lap. Oh my. Colt Ansley gonna walk away with the race win. Brian Mescal Jr. gonna cross the line in second, and Mark Truxell gonna walk away in third. That was an absolute crazy end there. Oh my goodness. Take a look back here at this crash at the end. There you see DeFries going around. That catches up 3 or 4 other drivers. DeFries going around and upside down again. Roy Hyde gets caught up. Mark Truxell gets caught up. Oh, and DeFries goes for another ride. Oh my goodness. Carnage and chaos ensuing out there on the final lap, and somehow no front clip on the front of that 86, but somehow he gets it done. He gets the race win. He gets to put his name in the book as a race winner this season. Heck of a job by that 86 and his whole crew. We're going to step away as he celebrates just a little bit, gets set up for our post-race interview. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do appreciate you staying with us all race long. Don't go anywhere, though. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Johnny with Little Tate's Cupcakes. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's race on the Turn 3 Network. Little Tate's Cupcakes is a bakery based out of Owensboro, Kentucky. We specialize in cookies, cakesicles, cakes, and cupcakes for every occasion. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram for more of our work and for daily specials. Go number 5.
We got big time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're going to lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane. Press and hold your reset button and we'll come and get you.
My goodness, what a finish to tonight's race. Whew. Had to take just a minute, get my head wrapped around everything that took place out there in the final few laps here at Talladega Superspeedway. Able to catch up with the driver finishing in the third spot here tonight, rounding out your podium, the 5 of Mark Truxell. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I got you, Dave. Go ahead.
Hey, my man, I know third's not where you like to finish, but coming out of turn 4 or through the center of 3 and 4, that last lap, did you think you were going to end up on the podium?
No, not really, but at the end of the backstretch, I kind of had a good feeling. Then the feeling went away real quick when I got knocked down into the grass, and I just had to keep going and try to get to the line first because I knew it took out a bunch of them.
Oh, it absolutely took out a ton of them. The wreck before that, the big one, took out a lot of drivers as well. Mark, you've had I don't want to necessarily say a struggle this year, but haven't seen you at the front as much as we're accustomed to. Does this give you any momentum heading into, I believe we head to Texas Motor Speedway? If my memory serves me correct, that's one of your better tracks, or one of the tracks you like the most. And do you think today's podium gives you any momentum heading in to the next race and as we come to a close here in the season?
Yeah, a little bit. I guess any momentum is good momentum, but just seems like I'm a bearer of bad luck a lot.
Yeah, I think that's why I hung my racing shoes up. I tended to walk out of the infield care center more than off of pit road. So I know the feeling, my man. I know you want a better finish out there, but third's nothing to hang your head about. Still placing well, getting some good points out there. Before we let you go, though, and enjoy the rest of the night, would you like to give any shout-outs? Thank you, love yous. Thank anybody on the side of that car?
Yes, absolutely. I'd like to thank my daughter at Little Tate's Cupcakes for being my main sponsor. The broadcast team, the league team, my racing team, Justin and Alan, and we all drove a good race and put on a good show, I hope. Thank you.
All right, Mark, my man. Well, we look forward to catching up with you next time we hit the track. All right, there you have it. A few final words from Mark Truxell as he walks away with a third-place finish here tonight at a crazy close to the big one on the Boulevard 250 here at Talladega Superspeedway. Now, let's see if we can't grab a word or two with the driver finishing in the second position, Brian Mescal Jr. in his 33. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, all right. Let's walk through this here. 10 laps to go, down 1 lap, caution comes out, you don't get the wave around. What goes through your mind?
Oh, I thought I was screwed. I had big damage there, and I had already used my crash repair, so.
All right, now walk us through 5 laps to go. Caution comes out. You get the lucky dog.
With a beat-up ass car, I had no idea. I don't belong in second in that race, but I'll take it.
Well, I mean, somehow, some way, you ended up there. Coming to the end, man. Did you have any? I mean, like, any clue? The chaos was about to happen, and you were about to walk away with a second. I mean, no offense, bud, but you even said it. Your car was not where it should have finished.
No, the car was garbage. Top speed was like 160, I was just kind of riding, waiting for the checkered, and next thing I knew, I saw cars flipping and smoke flying, and I stayed in it, and here we are.
Well, it's good to talk to you for one of the first times this season. So congratulations on getting yourself up here to the booth to hang out with a cool guy like me. I mean, what more could you ask for? I mean, don't mention a race win. That's not important right now. Okay, just hanging out with me is what's important.
Yeah, I went after it hard there. I was a lap down, and man, I was racing hard to get the lap back. I just used my one fast repair. Felt really good about things, and was really fast after I took that fast repair. And maybe I shouldn't have been up there mixing it up like I was, but you know what? That's what I do. I was fast, had a chance at it, got caught up, and took a bunch of damage there, and no fault of my own, I'm pretty sure. But hey, man, second place. What the hell?
Well, my man, once again, congratulations, man. Great job walking away with a great finish out there today. Great points day for you and the 33 crew. Before we let you go, do you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love you, thank anybody on the side of the car?
Same as usual. I'll thank my wife for letting me do what I do, and Dave for doing what you do, and Jags Drennan for my biggest fan.
All right, well, short and sweet and to the point with his post-race interview. Brian Mescal Jr., driver of the 33, not quite thinking he should have got that second place finish, and I'm not going to argue with him there. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that, but nonetheless, we'll see if we can't dial up your race winner in a crazy finish here at Talladega Super Speedway, driver of the 86 machine, that Toyota Camry, man. Colt Ansley, you got your ears on, bud?
I got you, Dave.
Dude, I'm gonna put a different twist to this interview. Dude, come on, man. How did you do it? I don't know how you did, but you did, man. Walk us through that final corner for you.
Oh man, I was sitting there brooding and pissed off because I thought my race was over, and I was down like 60 RPM, and looked like a rolled up tin can that even the modifieds didn't want. And I saw a puff of smoke going down the backstretch, and I was like, okay, well that's one spot. And then I saw a bunch more smoke going into 3, and a bunch of cars down the bottom, and my foot never lifted off the throttle, didn't even breathe it. And I thought I had a line on the outside, and Alan came up, and I thought, well, my race is over there. And just somehow lifted enough to turn it left and then dodge Mark on the way up. I was looking on the score monitor. I thought somebody else was in front of me. Somebody had to be in front of me. No way the whole field wrecked. But I don't know what to say.
Well, man, it doesn't matter how you get there. All that matters is you got there, and it doesn't matter if you have to push your car to victory lane or not. No front clip, but it's still a pretty picture sitting in victory lane. You got to admit, no matter how you get there, it's always good when you do.
It doesn't have to look pretty as long as you see the sponsors and you get the trophy. You're good.
Exactly, my man. Well, once again, congratulations on a great win in a very crazy race in the last few laps, man. You held out, did what you needed to do, walk away with a race win. Great points. That's going to help your point standings after today's race. So all in all, a great day for you. Colt, before we let you go, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that car?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the league and for everything, all the work that they put into it, all the series sponsors. I mean, Mug, Dr. Pepper, 7-Up, Whoppers, brought on a new group, Waffle House. Thanks for them to them for coming on board. We'd love to have them. See them for getting Red Door Storage, First Horizon Bank. And my family back home, they watch every single race. I got a text as I was doing my burnout. They were jumping up and down. So, I knew this was probably my best chance to win for a little while. Ever since Michigan, I felt like I had a ton of momentum. I felt like a completely different driver. I know I screwed up at Richmond pretty bad, but Bobby, David, Chris, they've spent a ton of time, teaching me things that I never would have thought to learn. So big thanks to them. I never would have even been close to the lead. We were competitive most of the night, but I never would have been close to the lead without them.
All right, my man. Well, once again, congratulations. Great job. And we look forward to catching up with you in 2 weeks when we hit Texas Motor Speedway.
Thanks, home track.
All right, there you have it. Some few final words from your race winner, the 86 of Colt Ansley. He didn't know how he did it. Quite frankly, I don't think any of us know how he did it. Came from the rear of the field, passed a lot of cars after some late race antics, so to speak. And we've got another crazy one at Talladega Superspeedway. My goodness, field wadded up coming through turn 4. That changed the whole complexion of the finish. But nonetheless, we'll get to the official business at hand here in the Superior Class Auto Racing, presented to you by Mug Root Beer. And that's your unofficial race results here for the big one on the Boulevard 250 at Talladega Superspeedway for the Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. Finishing top of the board, the 86 of Colt Ansley walks away with the race win. Finishing in second here today, the 33 of Brian Maskill Jr., the 5 of Mark Truxell will round out your podium. The 77 of Joshua Baker gonna finish in fourth, while the 80 of Brian Littleton will round out your top 5. Hayes Booth manages to walk away with a 6th place finish after contact on the last lap. Justin Napier gonna finish in 7th. The 13 of Roy Hyde finishing the race with no hood gonna finish in the 8th spot. 9th will go to Jason Baker. JD Baker gonna round out that top 10. Thomas McMullen in the 02 gonna finish in the 11th. And Mikey Yellow Jr., your pole sitter, here today for the big one on the Boulevard 250, finishes in the 12th spot. The 13th position will go to the 71 of Alan Dufries. Jeff Napier in the 40 machine gonna finish in 14th. 15th will be Bobby Hamilton Jr. Chris Mathis gonna finish in 16th. Tommy D'Angelo gonna slot home in the 17th position. David Bradford walking away with 18th. That brings us to your final 2 finishers. Kasem Plott gonna walk away in 19th. And rounding out the field here tonight will be the 51. Well, ladies and gentlemen, another great one in the books for us here at Turn 3 Racing Network for the Superior Class Auto Racing, presented by Mug Root Beer. If you haven't already, throw these drivers a thumbs up, hit subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Darkside Dave in the cave here on the Turn 3 Racing Network for you, or any of the other guys and gals back at the headquarters. We do appreciate each and every time you stop by. Big shout out to all the league sponsors: Mountain Dew, Mug Root Beer, 7-Up, Whoppers, Waffle House. Yes, sir, Waffle House. Scattered, smothered, covered, baby. Waffle House jumping on board here in the Superior Class Auto Racing. Big shout out to them. Little Tate's Cupcakes, Red Dot Storage, First Horizon, Cameron Hagman Photography. Big shout out to all of you guys helping sponsor here in the Superior Class Auto Racing on the world's #1 racing simulator, iRacing.com. And with that being said, well, we're starting to get kicked out of the booth. They're wrapping up the wires, so it's time to go. Until next time, my friends, stay safe, stay loved. We'll catch up with you again here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.